Hey man, how you doing?
Jono, welcome back, mate.
Yeah, good to see you, man. How you been?
Yeah, very well, very well. Welcome back to the Everblack Podcast. My name is Luke.
Thanks for having me.
Can we call you on a regular on the show yet, or
I guess this would make me a regular if it's a second time.
more than
So call it a
one?
comeback. Yeah.
That's it. That's it. Sequel.
Yeah, exactly.
How are you, man? Still enjoying lovely Melbourne?
Good to be home. Yeah, yeah. It's nice. It's warming up. It's good to be back home, good to be back sort of seeing friends and family after being away for a little bit. But yeah, happy to be back here.
Yep, awesome. Home is where the heart is. Everyone loves it.
Exactly. Exactly.
You've had another busy year with Bloom this year, tours
Mm.
galore, released an
Oh yeah.
album, and much more.
Yeah.
Have you had much downtime to soak it all up, or?
Not really. Like this is probably the biggest chunk of downtime we've had, and it's barely even downtime. Like we got back a couple weeks ago, and then we play a couple shows in a couple weeks, and then as soon as 25 starts, we're jumping back on the horse. So there hasn't been too much time to like slow down and take it all in. I guess now is has been that time, and it's been pretty surreal looking back on the year, sort of seeing like we've done over 50 shows this year, which for a full-time touring band is, it's an easy year, but for a band like us who's still developing and growing, it's
Huge.
more than double what we did last year. Yeah,
No, it's awesome. I mean, it's where you want to be and what you want to do. So definitely.
for sure.
Now we'll start with the album, maybe in another life. I mean, you released that towards the start of the year. How was it making the album together?
Oh, it was a labor of love. Like I think I worked out that we spent about 16 months from the start of the recording the album to releasing the album. And, obviously there was a bit of time sort of twiddling our thumbs, and once we'd sort of signed to Pure Noise, there was that took a bit of time. But the actual process of taking the songs that were in their demo state to the fully finished album was such a long process. And I kind of speak for all the band when I say we're all very like nitpicky and quite perfectionists, and we didn't want to fuck up our first album. So we kind of poured over a lot of the smaller details, and it's been received really well. And I think people who are fans of the band can kind of see the efforts that we went to really flesh out the album. And I think for people that are stumbling across the band, there's something for everyone on there. We kind of tried to push the extremes in every direction, and we couldn't be more happy with it.
Yeah, yeah, you should definitely be proud of the work you guys put in. Did you have any sort of specific inspiration when making it, or?
Um, Nothing that really jumps to mind. I think we're most influenced by what our friends are doing. Like I pull more from the conversations I have with other people in the music scene. Like I know Jacob from Thornhill. We've been close friends for a long time, and I've sort of seen his vision and what he's done with Thornhill, and kind of expanding on more than just the music, but like the visual identity. And I think that was a really big inspiration going into it. Void of Vision, Jack is another close friend, and it's seeing, I guess, our friends succeed, and the love that they pour into each of their releases is super inspiring. And I think we kind of tried to take a page out of their books, and really tried to cover every facet, outside of just how do the songs sound, but like, how does the narrative of the album flow, and what are the colors and the visual identity and all of that. We paid the most amount of attention to with that album, more so than we had with any release we'd done prior.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's an awesome album. Everyone I know that's listening to it absolutely loves it. I'm digging it. You also released new music again last month, another song.
Yeah.
The Works
The
of
the ball
You.
keeps rolling. Yeah.
Just pumping out all the hits.
Yeah.
Tell me about this one.
This one was interesting. Like the motivation behind releasing another song this year was we knew how extensively we'd be touring, and we wanted music to kind of go alongside with that. It felt kind of crazy, after spending 16 months on an album to then write, record, and release a single in a matter of months. We recorded that one on the road while on tour. We brought, it was during the Polaris regional tour earlier in the year. We
Oh yeah.
brought our producer along with us to do sort of front of house and live sound from us. And we used every off day to set up a studio environment and write and record. And we kind of got to the end of that tour and we pretty much had about a 90% finished song, and it was just about fitting in those last little pieces. And we really wanted it to come out to coincide with going to the States for the first time. We figured that's the most amount of new faces we'll see. We really want to have something out that's, if people are fans of what they're hearing, there's something that's like fresh, like straight off the press for them to go out and listen to.
Yep, yep, definitely. How was the States?
Oh, everyone I spoke to about going to the States was like, man, you're gonna love it. Like it's a completely different world out there. And you hear that so much, but then you get there and the scale is just unbelievable. Like we had so much fun over there. We just went over, the five of us. We drove ourselves. We sold our own merch. Every facet of that tour, we tried to look after just the five of us. And it was so rewarding. It was hard work, but we like we I struggle to find the words to explain just how like surreal and bucket list it was to get to the States and to play our music on a 22 hours of transit other side of the world to be
Yep.
playing is awesome.
Yeah, that's it. And I mean, I'm probably sure it's not going to be the last time, so you'll be
No,
you'll be back again, that's for sure. You've had
for sure.
some pretty epic tours. I mean, in Australia as well, like tagging along with Make Them Suffer for the Suffer
Yeah,
Forever tour. That was pretty huge.
that was
How did you
awesome.
enjoy that
Yeah,
one?
it was awesome. Like it was the biggest rooms that we played in Australia to date. And like Make Them Suffer like one of those bands that have just through everything have just kept pushing and growing and growing and growing. And I mean, we played a sold out forum show and a bunch of these awesome venues around Australia, and it, we couldn't be more sort of grateful to them for allowing us to perform on those stages alongside them. And yeah, it was cool. It really felt like kind of us leveling up as a band. We'd finished the Polaris tour a couple months prior, and we'd kind of gotten to a point where we were starting to really hone in our live identity and how we wanted to perform. And I feel like the next tour we did was that Make Them Suffer tour, where we really were given a large set of stages to really like lock in and perform to the best of our ability.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, he's crushed it that night. I was there shooting Brisbane at the Tivoli, the wonderful Tivoli again. So,
Beautiful
yeah,
venue.
it was awesome. So really good night. And like Make Them Suffer, they just seem like such a cool bunch of people.
Yeah, for
From their
sure.
socials, obviously what we see, but like they just look like they're always having a blast, having fun, and real down to earth kinds of people. Did you get to spend much time like with them as a group outside of the music
I
side?
mean, with Make Them Suffer, especially, it's like very what you see is what you get. Like there's really no egos. It was, we didn't spend a whole bunch of time hanging out because it was such a short tour. Like it was a week and a half and it was over. And by the time the ice is broken, you're already on your second last or last show. And the added stress, I suppose, for them being the headliner and having a bunch of moving parts. We ended up getting along really well with Spite. They were another band on the bill that played
Yep.
after us, and it was just because we were in each other's space for a week and a half, and we ended up, making really good friends with them, which was awesome. But yeah, I mean, Make Them Suffer, and every interaction we had with them, they were super nice and super welcoming and just grateful for us to be there. And yeah, like I said, what you see is what you get with them. They were really awesome to tour with.
Yeah, 100%. And now you got a few tours coming up. Like you said, you got three headlining shows.
Yeah,
Pretty exciting for that.
yeah, for
Um,
sure.
and then today you announced Hitting the Road with Trophy Eyes. That
Yeah,
one's going to
yeah.
be Epic.
Yeah. We've barely headlined this year. Like we did a couple of headliners in Sydney and Melbourne around the album's release, and we played that in full, which was really special. But outside of that, it's really been a year of us taking sort of support tours and getting in front of as many eyes as we can. So we really wanted to do something of our own before the end of the year. Um, we we're now at a point as a band where our scheduling is like kind of getting a little bit hectic, and we really tried to make as much time as we could, or we freed up as much time as we could so that we could at least hit, Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne, for a longer set. Like every set we've played in Australia this year, outside of those two headline album shows, have been 30-minute sets, and we're at a point now where we've got more than 30 minutes worth of songs we want to play. So it's cool to be able to finish the year strong. And then, yeah, like you said, as soon as the new year starts, we're on the road again with Trophy Eyes. And then a few weeks after that, we're off to Europe. So
Yeah,
yeah,
wow.
the ball is well and truly rolling.
And if you keep pumping out songs as much as you are anyway, like you're gonna have heaps to play, so it's gonna be
Exactly.
perfect for you.
Yeah.
And yeah, Trophy Eyes, like they're also awesome. I think they're pretty down to
Yeah.
earth and straightforward guys. We've had a chat with them before, like they're real cool, so that should be a
Yeah.
good time. I think last time we spoke was about this time last year before the Thornhill and Good Things. Um,
Yeah.
just to recap, how did Good Things go for you?
God, God, it's crazy that that was a year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, I have to. It feels almost, and I don't mean to like downplay the significance of playing good things, but because we've done so much this year, it feels like Good Things was a decade ago. Um, I loved Good Things. I seriously had such a great time. We did a couple of shows with While She Sleeps either side of it as well. So our Good Things actually started in Auckland, which was our very first time going overseas. And we got to do almost a couple of warm-up shows when we did one at Stay Gold as well. And then when it got to the festival weekend, just the nature of how it's set out, it's very intense. You start in Melbourne, and then you play your set, and then you're on the first flight the next morning to site in Sydney, and then you play a set, and then you're on the first flight the next day. You really don't have until Brisbane before you can stop and really take in the festival, just because it moves so quickly. But I remember, I mean, you're not going to have a bad time playing Good Things. Like it was so much fun. And then I guess, yeah, you mentioned the Thornhill tour as well, which was just before Good Things. That was, I mean, Thornhill are our really good friends. We've toured with them before. We'll tour with them again. Couldn't be more happy for that band and their success. And we were just so lucky to be a part of that tour.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was also a good one. And Good Things, like that was such an incredible day. I mean, Brisbane literally turned up the heat. Like I
Oh
think that
my
was one of the
God, it was
hottest
fucking
days
hot. Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
We were walking around for 8 to 10 hours with a camera, just sweat dripping,
Yeah.
just
There
not
was
it.
at the Brisbane site, there was a really nice artist facility area that had air
Yes,
conditioning.
the
And it
media.
was just that it
Yes,
was, yeah, yeah, it was the toss up of, well, I really want to go out and I really want to be part of the festival, but it's like 15 degrees colder in this room than it
yes.
is outside. I remember I got like, because Brisbane's the last show, it's kind of where everyone cuts loose a little bit, and, you know, gets a little bit silly, and I got very silly in Brisbane. I that was my day to celebrate, and I took full advantage of it. It was a really good day.
We must have done okay. I mean, I was back there as well. I didn't see you anywhere you shouldn't have been. So, we're
I
good.
saved I saved it for Fallout Boy. Fallout Boy, I was on a different plane.
Yep, yep. No, they hit they're a good finisher, that's for sure. Limp
Yeah,
Bizkit, obviously, everybody was so
yeah,
excited for
crazy.
them. So yeah, it was just really good. I really liked Slaughter to Prevail. They were just incredible.
Mm.
And while the plot and you were playing, I was standing there waiting to shoot, I think, Stand Atlantic on the other side. And Alex Terrible was just standing there watching plot and you, and everyone was sort of standing back, and I was like, no, I'm gonna go get a photo. I was like, hey mate, how's it going? I'm gonna get a
Hell
photo,
yeah,
and got a cheeky photo with him. I was like, wow. And he seemed really
that's
humble
sick.
and like welcoming for it. So that was a good time.
Hell yeah.
Now, also last time We had the super deep question about pineapple on pizza. Hope it's still going well for you. Still
Yeah, I still
ordering
stand it. I still stand by it. Like I'm going out of my
it.
way to put
I think
pineapple
I
on
think
things.
barbecue pepperoni with pineapple is going to be the slapper.
Yeah,
That's just a way to
yeah,
go.
that's a good one. I mean, barbecue based on a pepperoni is already like big brain enough.
Yeah,
Like
that's
it's
it.
you throw some pineapple on it, yeah, you got a winner.
Yeah, so this time we're gonna dig a little deeper. I've done some research on this one, as long as my
Okay.
research skills are correct. But I recently read that you guys are really into anime.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep. So two-part question: favorite anime to watch, and if you could be any character, who would you be and why?
Oh, okay. Unfortunately, I'm not the anime connoisseur of
Oh,
the
it's not
band.
okay. Well,
It's
see, I
it's
wasn't
Jack.
so.
It's the J names. There's a few of us. I dabble. I dabble. The last anime that I really like got into would have been Demon Slayer. The first season of Demon Slayer I watched a little while back. And I cannot remember the characters' names, but the kid who wears orange and is always nagging, that guy I fuck with. I also have watched a bit recently of Jujutsu Kaisen, and that's another awesome anime.
Yep.
But unfortunately, if you need the anime answers, you got to speak to Jack. That guy's well versed. We while we were in the States, we went to the Crunchyroll offices. Like we got a
Yes.
tour of Crunchyroll and met Alex, who's one of the people who work there, and he gave us sort of the whole rundown on just the scale of the operation. And it was like it was it was the first time we've been given a tour of really any office. So of course we were sort of blown away. But yeah, I know Jack really sunk his teeth in and was kind of blown away by just the scale of how they do their work and the amount of staff and the voiceover actors and just how they work was
Yeah.
pretty awesome to see.
So he was like a kid in a candy store, just like
Exactly.
he just sort of like bouncing off the walls, like
Yeah.
loving it, loving life. So yeah, I mean, we'll wrap it up there anyway, man. I mean, thanks for taking the
Beautiful.
time. We love having you. You
Not a
can welcome
problem.
back anytime.
Thanks so
Really
much.
appreciate it. You guys are absolutely crushing it. Again, album tours galore. We'll probably see you in Brizzy there soon. And also the Gold Coast, Trophy Eyes Gold Coast show. I'm sure I'll be
Yeah.
there because I'm actually
Hell
Gold
yeah.
Coast, not Brisbane based, so
Ah, there
right
you
close
go.
to me. But yeah,
Beautiful.
we'll have all the links below to the upcoming tours, and yeah, we'll see you very soon nonetheless.
Thank you very much. Good to see you,
Perfect.
man.
Cheers, Jono.